In this video, find out why coconut oil isn't as healthy as you might think. Coconut oil, the Netflix of fat. Everybody's using it, everybody's talking about using it, and if you're not using it, you're probably reevaluating your life choices. But stop there. What if I told you that maybe we should be using less coconut oil? Well, keep watching this video then. I'm going to start off today by telling you what exactly coconut oil is. Coconut oil is an edible oil created from the flesh of the coconut. It is a saturated fat with over 91% of its makeup being saturated fat and 48% of it coming from something called lauric acid, which will become relevant later on. What else do we know about coconut oil? Well, it is massively popular. This popularity, though, has led to some other issues. And this is what brings me on to talking about the halo effect. So, the halo effect, this is when we take something such as a foodstuff, such as coconut oil, and label it as objectively good or bad, as if it can do no wrong, as if it can only provide us with benefits or good outcomes. Now, there's lots of issues with this, mostly because, as we know, no food is objectively good or bad. And the other thing that happens is that, well, people start overeating these good foods, these clean foods, these foods which have a halo on them. You might have someone who was using 1 tablespoon of olive oil before to cook their veg in, and now suddenly they're using 2 tablespoons of coconut oil because they've been told it's good for them, because they've been told it's better somehow, despite the fact that that might not even be the case. We'll find out later. So you can see why the halo effect can be so damaging. We end up overeating certain things, more quantities than we would normally have of fat, because we've been told it's good. And as a result, we do more harm to our health than good. Now, my personal anecdote, my tangent, talking about me for a little bit. Sorry to be so egotistical, but I'm in the same boat as everyone. I'm not talking to you about coconut oil as if I've always known that coconut oil is this and that I know better than your nutrition. I've made the same mistakes, probably more mistakes than most people when it comes to coconut oil. A couple of years ago, when I was getting into the fitness industry, training as a personal trainer, it was all the rage, and I just sort of accepted that it was good. I was told it was better, and I just agreed with it. I didn't challenge it. I didn't look for evidence why. I just believed it. I started using it a lot, probably more than I needed to. And it took me a while to actually see the truth and actually realize it was not superior. But my point is, it's easy to get drawn in. You're presented by an appealing outcome. You're presented something as healthy. And unless you start challenging it, unless you actually look into the evidence, it's easy to go along with it. But I'm going to try and present you with the evidence. Core Training, we pride ourselves on being evidence-based coaches. What does that mean? We look at the science, we look at the research, we interpret it, and then we apply it practically to our clients when relevant. Now, I started following accounts and people such as Shredded by Science, Alan Aragon, Eric Helms, Dr. Spencer Nadolsky, amongst others, back a couple of years ago nearly. And it was based on something that I saw from one of these figures, whose information is below, Dr. Spencer Nadolsky, which made me start to question and look at coconut oil more closely. Now, a couple of weeks ago, he put up a post on Instagram, which should appear here about now, with his recommendations for healthy fat servings, which he gives to his clients. And as you'll see on the post, it says, please note I excluded butter and coconut oil. In his description, he then went on to explain why, as he grouped coconut oil with butter because they are both saturated fats, and as such actually increase cardiovascular risk as opposed to decrease cardiovascular risk, which some of these unsaturated fats can do. Further to that, he backed it up with a research review, which he posted the link to, and which I then went and read. And it was that which inspired me to make this video. The scientific paper in question was a 2016 research review of 21 different papers, which was titled Coconut Oil Consumption and Cardiovascular Risk Factors in Humans. And it was conducted by Lawrence Ayres, Michael F. Ayres, Alexandra Chisholm, and Rachel C. Brown. In this study, they were looking to see whether coconut oil was or was not good for reducing cardiovascular risk in humans. And their findings were quite interesting. One of the first things that they noted was that despite the fact that coconut oil is often called medium chain triglyceride, it's inaccurate to call it that because it actually behaves like a long chain triglyceride. Basically, to summarize, sorry if the science isn't 100% here, but the difference between a medium chain triglyceride and a long chain triglyceride is, yes, one, their length, which then equates to how quickly it can be broken down by the body. Medium chain triglycerides are associated with weight loss and reduced cardiovascular risk, whereas long chain triglycerides are associated with the opposite: more cardiovascular risk, higher cholesterol, and weight gain. The second thing that they found is that coconut oil does not have a beneficial effect on our cholesterol. Now, cholesterol can be broken down into a few different parts. The first thing you'll probably hear is your total or overall cholesterol number. And so your total cholesterol number is made up of your high density lipoproteins, which I will from now on refer to as good cholesterol, your low density lipoproteins, which I will now refer to as bad cholesterol, and 20% of your total triglycerides, which is another form that fat can take when stored within the body. What you want when it comes to cholesterol is for your overall cholesterol to be sub 200, and also to have a lower ratio between your good cholesterol and your overall cholesterol. Why is coconut oil not good for cholesterol? To come back on point. Now, what a lot of the research showed was that coconut oil increases the amount of good cholesterol in your body. So you would think, oh, this means that it's actually good for us. But the problem is it increases the amount of bad cholesterol at the same rate. So, although you might have more good cholesterol, you also have more bad cholesterol, and as a result, more overall cholesterol. Your cholesterol number, total cholesterol number, is not coming down, but it's either staying the same or actually going up, and that is not good. So, in summary, coconut oil does not reduce the ratio good cholesterol to total cholesterol, nor your total cholesterol number, both of which are good predictors of cardiovascular risk. Essentially, coconut oil does not reduce your cardiovascular risk. What the researchers actually concluded is that there is no evidence that coconut oil behaves any differently from any other saturated fat, and as such should be moderated to the same levels of other saturated fats such as butter or animal fat. In their own words, they said that the weight of evidence suggests that replacing coconut oil with unsaturated fats would reduce the risk of cardiovascular attacks, and decided that coconut oil is not a healthy fat for reducing cardiovascular risk. So, what does that mean for us? Well, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have coconut oil at all. If you want to include it in your diet, then by all means go for it. Just moderate it closely like you would any other saturated fat, trying to make sure it doesn't take up more than 10% of your overall daily calories. If you have any questions regarding this, then please direct it to the comments section below. Don't forget to like this video if you do like it, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'll see you in the next one.